Keith, are you there? Let's see. Keith, are you there? Oh, my co-host. Consent. Secure connection. Close. Hello, Keith, are you there? Keith Conger, 5 more. Turn off selfies. All right. Well, I think I may have done something I shouldn't have done. It says I'm live and recording, but for whatever reason, I can't get Keith to join. Let's see. This might be Keith here. Excuse us. I can see you. Okay. Well, Keith can see us. Keith, can you join us? I sent you. Okay.
Is it working now?
It is working, and I apologize. I screwed up. I started and then stopped it, and then that's what you saw, and then I beg your pardon. It's my ineptitude. I beg your pardon.
Good. We're here though.
We are here, yeah. So a brief introduction again. My name is Wayne. I'm with Black Box Embedded, and this is going to be our last live stream during the current Wonderlink Kickstarter pledge period. The Kickstarter it ends this Friday, August 24th at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you do want to get a Wonderlink at a great price, the Kickstarter price of $200, and you're on the fence about anything, please reach out to us. Let us know what your questions and concerns are, and we'll do our best to answer those. And you can get a great price on a Kickstarter. But with that, I'm Wayne.
Keith. Yeah, and I'm Keith again, co-owner of Black Box.
Black Box Embedded, yeah. Okay, so I beg everybody's pardon. I got us off to a rocky start, but let's just get right into it. So I'm going to start with my update first. I'm the hardware guy, so if you have questions, you're going to want to talk to me, and Keith's more of the software application guy. In terms of the hardware, what I'm working on is we transitioned from a 5-watt or a 1-amp charge circuit for cell phone charging. We went to a 10-watt, and we've been testing that thoroughly on the bench and on the bike, and everything is working wonderfully. So right now I'm just currently updating to the latest circuit board revision for that. And as I'm doing that, I'm also creating a test jig to kind of expedite the electronics testing of the Wonderlink for production purposes. The new test jig, it's also going to log quality control. It's going to basically measure performance of how the unit is performing electronically, and it's going to store that information, and then that way we can serialize our product. And that way, if we, for whatever reason, if we encounter any issue out in the field later, we can refer back to it. And it's just going to help with tracking and reliability. That's what I'm working on. So far, everything's going together very well. There's nothing extraordinary to comment. Everything's going together just the way it should. So should be done relatively quickly, I would say within a week, 2 weeks. And we'll have the latest rev, and we'll have the test equipment for it. And that's essentially my update, the hardware update.
Okay. Yeah. So like I mentioned last time, I've been focused recently on the firmware updating apps. along with fixing any bugs that are reported to me or that I find during testing. With the reason for the two separate firmware updating apps are, the thought is we can make the Wonderlink more experimental and try different things, but we want to keep firmware updating rock solid. So, once we get those firmware update apps complete, there'll be minimal change in that, in those apps. It would just be primarily bug fixes at that point. But the idea is to keep firmware updating stable. And that kind of leads me into kind of the focus of what we're going to talk about tonight is just the hardware and software and keeping it up to date and some of the concepts that went into its design. One of the things we wanted to do from the get-go is to try to make things as future-proof as possible with the way we process the messages on the system. So we just do minimal processing on the Wonderlink. It's primarily for key presses. Outside of that, we are essentially relying on the apps on the smartphone to do all the processing, all the heavy lifting. And the idea is everyone's used to updating apps on their phone. You do it every day. That process is simple and reliable, and everyone knows what happens when they update. On the firmware update side, there's always potential for issues because of the you're writing the firmware over the air. Something could happen. There's built-in safeguards and everything, but the idea is we don't want you guys to do that very often. The only reason why you should have to do that is if we identify a bug or a new motorcycle is put out and we have to adjust something for the key presses. But after that, we hope to keep things stable in that area. There's very little need to keep things up to date. The other thing I wanted to talk about was app updates. And as a Kickstarter backer, we are going to give you lifetime access to what I call them the beta channels of both the iOS and the Android app. You can be in both if you'd like, if you have both systems. The entire lifetime of the product, you will be involved as much as you like in feedback. As you see new features being implemented in the beta, you can let us know what you think about them. What I'm starting to think about is possibly building some sort of voting system where maybe our backers can kind of vote on feature enhancements that are in the queue. That way, it kind of helps prioritize that development for most bang for the buck. If 90% of the backers really want this feature, I'd rather focus on that.
Yeah, that makes good sense.
And and keeping you guys happy. And then we also have a question, and this has come up a few times about just app updates in general. Let's just, after the Kickstarter, app updates and firmware updates are going to be free for the lifetime of the product. We hope you buy the product and you're going to carry that on to your next motorcycle. We're not going to have you paying a yearly subscription or lock it to a few VINs. Use it as however you will. Like we've mentioned a few times, we want this as open as possible, and that kind of leads me into we mentioned in the past the app API and the skeletal apps or software development kit for the Wonderlink. You will have whatever power you want to create whatever you'd like, totally for yourself. If you want, you put it up onto the app stores yourself if you'd like. So that's pretty much it for software. I hope that kind of explains things. We want it to be open. we want to be kind of future proof with things. We don't want to lock you guys into anything. You know, once you buy it, you own it, and you can use it however you want. You could sell it, and someone else would be able to use it exactly how you have it. They won't have the beta channel access because only backers will get that access level. But yeah, that's about it for the app updates. It does look like we might have lost Wayne. But,
well, Keith, you're 8-bit right now.
Oh, really?
You were 32-bit. Now you're 8-bit.
Oh well, and I don't even see you at all.
Okay,
but,
well, I see you. But you're
well. The audio is clear at least.
Okay. Well, and then so is that your update, Keith?
Yeah, that's the update, and that's also kind of the meat of the update was we wanted to discuss the actual software updates and the firmware updates and how that was going to work. I hope to have a nice demo to do for you guys in a week or two with at least one of the Android or iOS side of the firmware updates. It's going to be pretty boring. It's a progress bar that goes across the screen, and then your Wonderlink reboots. But we'll do a demo as soon as it's ready.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just throw this out there. What happens if it's bricked? What's going to happen if, for whatever reason, an OTA or over-the-air update bricks it, and it's essentially a chunk of plastic that doesn't?
Well, you know. I think as you and I discussed, we're going to leave the ability for you to send that back to us, and we could reprogram it for you hardware-wise and get you back up and running. Right. You know, yeah, it should be pretty impossible to truly hard brick it.
Yeah. And then so we haven't Keith and I haven't outlined our RMA type system yet, but we're a fledgling company, and we just want to make everybody happy as we can make them. So yeah. If getting you and your own Wonderlink to work for whatever reason, if it makes more sense for you to send it into us, or if we can send out the debugger to you so you can go ahead and program it on your end, we'll send you out the tooling. That's what we're going to do. That's not to say that this is going to be a common occurrence. We haven't done it yet. I know Keith maybe initially was able to brick it when he was, you know, kind of finding his way around the over-the-air firmware integration. But since then, we haven't had an issue with it since. And if that does, for whatever reason, pop up its head again, we're going to take care of you guys. We just want to make everybody happy. This is a great product, and we want to make sure everybody has a good, pleasant experience with it. So
absolutely,
I was just throwing that out there because that would be a question I'd ask. Well, what happens if?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. You might save a follow-up question. But yeah, you know, what we also realize is you guys are going to be our best salesmen. You guys are going to be out using the thing. You're going to run across another rider. You're going to be riding with your buddies. They're going to ask questions about it. If you're not happy with it, you know, you're not going to.
We don't want. We want you guys happy.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So, Keith, those were your updates.
Yes. Yep.
And then, okay, so I'm going to move on to a question we got. We got a question from someone, Dennis, and he's asking the question: the Wonder Wheel, can it be used with other accessories like Hexacan? Is there a way in which the device you want to control it? Is there a way to control a different device at a given time? Oh, it's actually showing. Did you put that up for me, Keith?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's right in front of you guys. So it's worded a little informally, but I think what the crux of the question is, hey, look, so you're saying that now I can use the Wonder Wheel to control other things. Can I control like a third-party controller like a Hexacan? And the quick answer to it is no, you cannot. Basically, when the Wonderlink is going to give you the ability to use your Wonder Wheel that's already on your bike that's equipped with one to control your phone. And once you have the ability to control things on your phone, you know, in the future, we're going to have peripheral devices. Like we're going to have a PDM, a power distribution module, which you're going to be able to control. That'll be similar to a Hexacan. The only difference is instead of like hard coding it to do certain things at certain button switches, you'll actually be able to interact with it real time. You're going to be able to use your Wonder Wheel to dim your lights, excuse me, your third party lights, not your BMW headlight per se, but you know, some aftermarket lights. Can I dim my lights? Can I turn on fog lights? Can I turn on and off heated gear? Can I scale the amount of power I'm sending it to it? And the answer to that is, yeah, very easily actually with the system that we have. Again, the foundation is the WonderLink, is we are able to take Wonder Wheel commands, interpret those, and use them any way we would like. We can apply that to PDM, that's power distribution modules, to third-party lighting systems. Really, it's up to the person's imagination what you want to control. I can tell you right off the top of our head that we would like to integrate an accessory lighting system. We would like to do a power distribution module, and we not trying to look too far down the road, but I would really like to retrofit a Wonder Wheel onto an older GS bike, one without a Wonder Wheel, and I'd like to be able to control the suspension for on-road and off-road with an aftermarket suspension like a Wilbur's type suspension. So yeah, those things currently, the only thing that you're going to be able to control with the WonderLink is your phone, which is huge because you can put so many user devised applications you can leverage off of that. Can you control other third-party devices at this point? No. And I would say the limiting factor to the reason why is just simply that they're not Bluetooth connected. And that's, we're going to be working off a Bluetooth mesh, so we can create a whole new separate network that you can use your Wonder Wheel to leverage off. So that answers, I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, a little sneak peek to it, what we're thinking about.
Exactly. And then Keith, I don't know in your update if you answered Alexander's question.
Yeah, well, I'll just go over it again.
Yeah.
Alexander asked, I think in the comments on the Kickstarter page, he says, hello guys, while the hardware solution is brilliant, I believe the real value will be in the app. How do you guys plan on handling software update pricing, subscription based or free for life when you buy the hardware? Yeah, like I mentioned, all Kickstarter backers will have lifetime beta channel access for both iOS and Android, and that any WonderLink purchaser now or in the future will have stable access to the stable apps for the lifetime, and they're just going to be free apps in the App Store. There will be no,
you're not going to buy a
key or anything like that. There'll just be free apps. So even if you're not a WonderLink purchaser, you can download it. It just won't work with, if you don't have the actual WonderLink hardware. But yeah, so that's it for the app updates.
Okay. And I don't see any further questions. We haven't really gotten any further comments or questions just on the standard Kickstarter site. And I believe Keith has given his update. I've given my update. I said at the onset of this live stream that this was going to be the last one for the active pledging period. What Keith and I plan to do, though, is on a weekly basis is have a live stream update just to let you know where we are. It's kind of, I guess you would call it an accountability update, where we're at with getting you your reward that you had purchased. So we're going to reach out to you folks weekly. We'll more or less, I think we'll probably do those as live streams as well. The way Kickstarter archives video, I prefer the way they archive the live stream versus the other just video demo. They're a little bit more difficult to find, and it's much easier for people to put in questions that can be answered at the time of the live stream. So we plan on doing weekly live streams just on accountability, getting you people your rewards. And gosh, there was something else I wanted to add to that that's escaping me at the moment. But oh, so we've gotten a question. Hey, is there any way that you can schedule it so it's a little bit more convenient for international people? And unfortunately, in order for Keith and I to give you guys these frequent updates, we can give you more content if it's more convenient for us. And we believe that it's going to be okay in the context that you guys are able to submit questions and comments anytime you want. And this is an archived video. It's saved and you can watch it at a later date. So we hope that's okay. And we apologize if you folks in Asia and Europe are having time for seeing us live as we're doing this. But again, it's archived and you can see the video at any time, and you can submit a question anytime before the actual or during the live stream. So we hope that's agreeable with people. And it looks as though I've lost Keith, so I don't.
Well, I see you.
Oh, okay. Now you just popped up. You were this weird black and white icon. So I don't know what the bandwidth problem is. I don't know if it's my internet or.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
But okay, so I see you now. But anyway, Keith, I don't know if you heard all that, but basically,
I did.
We plan on doing weekly updates. We plan on doing them as live streams, and we're just going to do them when it's convenient for us because people have access and they can submit questions when we want. I know that's kind of a selfish way to approach it, but we just want to get you guys regular content, let you know where we're at. And my perspective, the hardware perspective, things are right on track. We told you guys November and December, we look to be on that point. I don't know about Keith in terms of software, if there's any issues there.
No, that's the beauty of the software too, is we can get you updates quick and we can resolve bug fixes quick. So we're doing our best to make sure, and our testers are helping a huge amount to make sure you guys are getting a greater than a beta level software quality. Software's really been in development almost since kind of day one. We've been kind of working on things in parallel. It's pretty mature as it is now, and I'm going to be prepared for any kind of influx of feedback you guys give me once you get it in your hands. I'm actually considering, this is something I forgot to mention, is once the campaign is over, getting all the backers access to the beta software now. You guys can start playing around with it now. You won't be able to see the motorcycle data or use your Wonderlink, obviously, but you will be able to go through the screens and use some of the app functionality because you can use touch presses. And start giving me feedback now and maybe identify some bugs that the testers haven't yet at this point.
Do you have a proposed date for that, Keith? Or?
Probably. My thought is this week I'm going to be doing a bit of an extended real life test of the Wonderlink. I will be doing some dirt riding on the GS. With the Wonderlink in combination with the Hondo mount, and just looking for any bugs that kind of crop up during longer runs and in a more hostile environment.
So maybe in a couple of weeks, get that.
I would think probably right before you get married, Wayne.
Okay. All right, well, great. And then it's interesting that you brought up the Hondo mount. I got my Hondo mount, and I can tell you, honestly, for an RT user, it's not going to be the way to go. Just simply, this is the Hondo mount. Oh, I don't know if you can see this. I can't seem to get it in frame. There you go. But just the way it orients the phone and whatnot, the cowling, you basically, in order for it to clear the mount, you really need to bring it needs to be stood off even further, like another inch. So it's just not really applicable to the RT, the Hondo mount people that were thinking about that potentially. But you ordered the quad lock, right?
Yep, that just arrived. Good, yeah, that's a good little update too. Is I did receive the quad lock. I I ordered the RAM mount version, so obviously right there you could use a RAM ball mount on the Wonderlink, and then the RAM quad lock version together. But unfortunately, they don't seem to have like a generic self mount quad lock. But what you could do is if you're interested in modifying, you could just remove the one screw out of the quad lock. And I think I have a design idea where I could make a little adapter plate that you can then take this quad lock face that you've removed and then put it onto the adapter mount. So one of either two ways, but either way, I think you guys are able to use your quad lock phone mounts if you'd like, just simply by using the RAM combination of the RAM quad lock and then the RAM ball mount on the Wonderlink.
It looked like that quad lock might be a better solution for the RT actually.
Yeah.
And it would also eliminate the need for an additional standoff.
Yeah.
Just simply because that RAM ball mount type style system already stands the phone off a little bit.
Yeah.
So it looked like that might be a real good viable solution for the RT. So now I've got a Hondo mount that I'm not going to use. Maybe we'll get that out to one of our star beta testers like Martin, or who is the other guy?
Tim and
Tim. Yeah. So maybe we'll flip a coin, Martin or Tim. We'll get you a Hondo mount that I'm not going to be able to use for an RT, but I know for a GS,
it works great on the GS.
Yeah. So let's do that, Keith. We'll do next week with our update. We'll have flipped a coin and we'll tell them who's going to get my Hondo mount.
That's a good plan.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then, so we're going to do the weekly updates. And then I was thinking, we're pretty excited. I guess we've glossed right over this, Keith. We didn't even bring it up. We've well exceeded our, so we're funded. We've been successful. And we're both really excited about that. And then, so I was thinking maybe Friday we would just do a live update and just, maybe Keith and I will pat ourselves on the back and not have anything really more interesting to share other than our gratitude. I know I'm really grateful to Kickstarter, and my fiance is the one who actually brought it up. You should do it. And I was just like, nah, it sounds like more work. I don't need any more work, but I'm so glad we did. It's really turned out really great. And I think we've actually introduced ourselves to quite a few more people that we wouldn't have otherwise. So just really grateful for the Kickstarter. It's, I know I said in a previous update that it wasn't going to make or break us, but it's been very helpful. It's been very beneficial to us as a whole. So,
yeah, in many ways. And what we really found out was, the community or the group of people we're interested in getting this product in front of. They're hard to reach, and it's going to be word of mouth. And I think Kickstarter's helped that, and obviously you guys have helped us a lot with that. So we're super appreciative of that. And I think it got us way more exposure. It's out there across the world. We would have been probably just posted in English language forums, and our bilingual backers have kind of spread it out there across the world. We've got backers everywhere. It's really cool, and we thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. And it doesn't look like we received any more questions or comments. And I've shared everything I feel that needed to be shared on my end. What about you, Keith?
Yep, I'm good. I think we got everything.
Okay. So I guess we're going to sign off at this point. Just a quick thank you to everybody once again. Thanks so much for checking us out.
Thanks. Have a good night or
Okay.
morning, wherever you are.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thanks, Keith.